He's in! Comets win! Comets win!
There's a nice feed by Hunter! And Baisley with the rip. Dean Larry, you got to load that one up. Hey, hey!
Oh, got a little wink action there.
Hey! And set. The Warriors in the state final!
From Western Brown High School in Orab, Ohio, ICRC-TV Sports is proud to present a special edition of High School Hoops. Today's district semifinal action in Division III as the Clark Cougars take on the CHCA. Hello everyone, I'm Glenn Olson, joined courtside by my partner David Olson. Josh Simsrott and the crew will bring you all the exciting action here in this D3 district semifinal. David, the first half of our doubleheader was a tremendous game. This one will have a lot to live up to come even close to that, but these two teams are very familiar with each other.
Yeah, Glenn, another great NBC conference matchup as we're going to see the two-seeded CHCA Eagles face off against the conference champs from the NBC Scarlet, the Clark Montessori. And we're going to see a great matchup between just the Eagles who are averaging 54 points a game, where Clark is averaging 57 points a game, Glenn. And Clark won both regular season matchups. So we'll see if CHCA has some bad blood out and gets their revenge, or Clark gets the season sweep.
And some familiarity between both head coaches. It's my understanding CHCA head coach Brian Lahan played at Lakota East for Wally Vickers, who was the first coach Lakota East history. He elected to retire and then got the itch to come back, and opportunity with the Clark Cougars presented itself. So a mentor-mentee matchup as well. As you said, Clark won both regular season meetings. Let's review the starters for the Eagles: Sonny, Fisher, Arthurs, Ben Sutherland, and Jack Kolar. For the Cougars, Ely, Moore, Faison, Lyons, and Hawkins who are underway. The Eagles control the opening tip this district semifinal matchup. Special edition of High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports.
Great ball movement so far from the Eagles, Glenn.
Great defense there, swiping that time by Marlon Lyons. Clark a little bit limited on the bench, as you may notice. Only 3 or 4 subs available to play. There's a steal by the Eagles, taking it to the hole. It's a nice move, Salkill.
Salkill did a great job just making something happen after the steal, Glenn, to get the Eagles draw first blood. 2-0 lead, 7 minutes remaining here in the first quarter.
Eagles in a 2-3 zone defense. Clark, very deliberate attack on offense. Moving the ball around the perimeter, very nearly deflected away there by Kolar. Not a whole lot happening in the paint for the Cougars. Nice little ball fake and a floater falls through for Ely. All tied at 2, approaching 6:30 of the opening quarter here from Western Brown High School. Nice little drive for both these schools. Of course, CHCA up in Sims Township, north end of Cincinnati. Clark Montessori located in the central part of town, closer to the urban core. Floater from the outside will not fall through for Lions. Coast to coast and a foul at the other end for Cole Fisher. Take a look at that on replay, David.
Cole Fisher gets a rebound and he just puts on the PF Flyers and tries to make something. Gets to the paint, but fouled by number 1, Sean Ely, his first, team first. 6 minutes remaining here in the first quarter.
Fisher at the free throw line, gets the first one.
Glenn, as you were saying, Wally Vickers, Coach Lahan from CHCA. Wally Vickers, Coach of the Year in the NBC. So we'll see if he can continue that hot streak and proving why he won Coach of the Year to lead his Cougars to UD Arena next Saturday.
Cougars number 8 seed, CHCA number 3, as we talked about earlier. Forcing the issue there. Ball's loose on the ground. Nice job by the Eagles to track it down. Sonny's going to bring it down at the other end. Hands it off to Fisher. Now a three-pointer from the right side will not fall through for Authors.
Wide open for Ely.
Yep.
In and out. Man, these rims have not been friendly today, Glenn.
Off the mark for the Cougars. Fisher's rebounds it. Here come the Eagles quickly down at the other end. A nice underhanded scoop falls through for Authors. He gets his first points of the game. 6-2, the Eagles out in front as we approach the 5:20 mark. Possession arrow is in favor of Clark at the moment. All
Wide
kinds
open.
of traffic. Yeah, another wide open three from the left side. Battle for control. Lions was able to get there first and save the possession for the Cougars. Three from the left side will not fall. Easily rebounded underneath by Fisher. They'll pass out of the pressure.
Clark in a wide 2-3, trying to make CHCA pass the ball, but we're going to switch to a man-to-man. No, doesn't get the bucket.
Yeah, foul at the other end as Fisher tried to go up strong to the glass. You see it here on replay. Brazil Moore.
Fisher does a great job of posting up, but draws a foul. See if he can earn him at the charity stripe. As you get a great shot of Ollie Vickers talking to Brazil Moore over there on the sideline.
Substitution. Ben Sutherland checks into the game for the Eagles. Second free throw on the way. Nylon. 4 in a row. Under 4:45 now in the opening quarter. The Eagles out in front by 6, 8-2. As David mentioned at the top of the show, Clark won both regular season meetings. One a relatively close game. Second one a comfortable margin for the Cougars. But the Eagles giving the Cougars all kinds of fits here in the early going. Oh, no look pass intended for Ely. Sails out of bounds. Boy, that looked good. It just the pass was a little bit off the mark. Your officials today, Tom Burns, Kirk Brinker, Paul Mayfie.
Another very experienced crew, Glenn. We've worked with those guys multiple times while they was doing public address or ICRC. Another great crew in the OHSAA. Does a great job getting officials out to all of our games.
Shot from the free throw line, just past it, will not fall for Sonny. Clark with good ball movement, very nearly into a trap. They're able to pass out of it quickly. A ball fake and a travel on Ely.
Ely just wanted that stamp on his passport, Glenn.
Yep. A little bit of the foot sliding will get you every time.
Good turnout from the CHCA students making the haul out here.
Yeah, it's all on their Twitter account this morning. They were last couple days have been trying to drum up support for a bus, so bring a pep bus out. Shot rainbows over the rims, rebounded easily underneath by Hawkins. Cougars, Hawkins is going to go coast to coast, pulls up just short of the free throw line. It's off the back iron, rebounded easily underneath by the Eagles. CHCA very deliberate on offense, not trying to force the issue, being very patient. Clark trying to set the tempo defensively. There's a turnover. Fisher loses his balance. Here come the Cougars. Straight to the hole. And finally a tip in underneath by Lyons. 3 guys touched that ball before it went through the hoop.
Marlon Lyons doing a great job of staying with the play and not giving up on it and getting the easy bucket for the Cougars.
8-4. We're under the 3-minute mark now in the opening quarter here from Western Brown High School. Ball fake by Fisher. They'll pass the ball around, try to find something a little better than what he was looking at. Good movement by Clark defensively. Yep, very nearly a steal there by Faison. Substitution for the Eagles as we go to replay. Checking into the game is
1 miss, 2 miss, and Lyons gets the tip in.
Billy Sutherland, excuse me, to finish the substitution.
With the lay in for 2. Cole Fisher really has to do a great job of passing the ball better. He's averaging 18.3 points a game, and he's the leading scorer in the NBC. So we really have to keep an eye on Fisher and see if he gets hot and is able to get the Eagles their first victory over Clark and punch their ticket to UD.
Clark wanted a 5-second call there, and it wasn't coming. Now there's a struggle for control on the floor, and we'll get a jump ball. First jump ball of the game. As I mentioned, the arrow is with Clark. So substitution. Sawkill is going to check back into the game for the Eagles. He's going to take the place of Cole Fisher, who's involved in that last struggle for control on the floor just a few moments ago.
Shanti Vickers Hawkins, doing a great job of getting the ball out of Fisher's hands and getting the ball back for Clark on the alternating possessions.
So the arrow back now with the Eagles. Nice ball movement there. Baseline drive, they'll kick it out, turnover. Pass could not get to its intended target. Ended up right in the hand of Austin Arthurs.
CHCA just waiting for something to develop. Great baseline drive. No good.
Yep, swatted around, finally hauled in by Lions. Cougars back down to their offensive half court quickly. Coach Lahan very animated over on the sideline, trying to get his team into their defense. They're lined up in what appears to be a 2-3. Don't see anybody coming out to challenge like you might see in a pack line, so we'll leave it at that for the moment. See if that changes. Wide open three, will not fall for Lions. Here come the Eagles down at the other end, stripped. Cougars will bring it back down quickly with Ely. He pulls up, floats through. 4 points in the game now for Ely. 8-6, a minute to go in the opening quarter.
CHCA needs a bucket here. They've really just gone dry the past couple of minutes. They started out hot, but they haven't had a bucket. As we're going to get a baseline drive from the Eagles.
And a foul. You call that offensive?
I guess so, but
yeah, I'm going to call that a charge. So that will go on Sawkill. That's his first of the game. Going to say that was a charge as he rolled to the basket. Another substitution. Ben Sutherland's going to come out. Checks on knee, back in. Approaching 40 seconds. 2-point lead for the Eagles. The Cougars finally force the issue inside and off the glass as Lions. Strong move up and off the glass.
Great finish to get this back to a tie ball game, but
we figured this might be a close one based on the first regular season matchup. So far it's turned out to be a relatively good game, pretty clean. Fouls are 1 for the Eagles, 2 for the Cougars.
Oh, good cut. They're wanting an open door for him. No foul.
Yeah, nice job by Authors. Picks up his 4th point of the game. At the end of the first quarter, CHCA 10. But we do have a late whistle. 8. They're gonna bring him back out on the floor. Not gonna get the end of quarter timeout.
Putting 2 seconds back on the clock.
Okay, so a clock adjustment. See that terribly often.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened there, Glenn.
Certainly enough time for a pass and a catch. There's a desperation heave. It was close, but off the back iron. So now, at the end of the first quarter, CHCA Eagles 10, Clark Cougars 8. We're going to step away for a break. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're watching High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports.
Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. I've attended basketball games from coast to coast over the years as a participant, broadcaster, parent, and fan. And believe me, I've seen my share of unsporting behavior. The purpose of school sports is for kids to have fun, develop their skills, and learn lessons that will last a lifetime. So when you attend a school contest, please keep that in mind. Remember to behave in a way that reflects positively on your child, your school, and your community. Let's respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Welcome back to the second quarter on this district semifinal special edition of High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Glenn Olson and David Olson with you here courtside at Western Brown High School. David, a relatively moderate pace first quarter. Neither team really able to assert their will and take control of this game.
Yeah, Glenn, you're going to see that in the third matchup of a conference opponent. You know what to expect. You've done scouting reports. You've watched film. You've gotten film from other people. So just as you said, just as we expected, just a tight conference matchup right now between two MVC Scarlet teams. But I think Cole Fisher can lead this team to oppose their will if he's able to get hot. But also over on the Clark side, they're averaging 57.5 points a game. So both teams are able to do it. But 10-8 so far, Glenn. Well,
these second quarters sometimes tend to tell the tale. Cole Fisher tried to go up and was stripped away by Hawkins. We'll see what adjustments in the chess match have occurred between Brian Lahan and Wally Vickers.
Great pass and one.
Oh, and a push from behind. Wow. Exciting sequence there. Take a look at that on replay.
Cole Fisher asked for the ball on the lob. Gets it, kicks it on the great pass by Billy Sutherland to finish. Sutherland at the line, completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way. CHCA now up 13-8, 5-point lead, 7:45 remaining in the half.
So a mistake by Clark will cost them. The Eagles extend their lead out 2-5. Clark needs to find a way to get some points on this offensive possession. Points have been tough to come by unless they force the issue physically in front of the hoop. The perimeter game really hasn't been working all that well for the Cougars. Clark will dribble back out and reset, and Wally Vickers is going to take a 30-second timeout. First timeout taken in the game. His team's just not able to get rolling offensively, David.
Yeah, CHCA came out in a 3-2 defense there, Glenn, and just there weren't any openings or just windows. There wasn't a lot of movement from the Clark Cougars, so Coach Vickers taking a quick 30-second timeout, trying to get his team settled down and make that adjustment on the zone defense of CHCA.
30-second timeout, as I mentioned. Both teams have got the first horn. About to break the huddles. The referees will get them back out on the floor to get this one underway. Second half of a high school hoops doubleheader here today from Western Brown High School. Appreciate you tuning in. Exciting Division III district semifinal basketball action. Tournament time just brings great basketball, and we sure enjoy bringing it to you. 13-8, approaching the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Heard the Eagles calling out ball screen. Trying to see what adjustments Coach Vickers is bringing to the offense. Not liking what the Eagles are showing him so far. So far, Clark being very patient, but the opportunities getting somewhat limited in their offensive shot selection. Exciting game between two familiar rivals, as we've discussed. Some action in the paint, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebounded underneath by CHCA. But boy, Hawkins is quick. He's going to swipe one under the basket and get it back up here before it's all said and done.
He wanted it, Glenn, and that was his jumper too, but there goes Sutherland and gets the friendly roll off the rim.
Billy Sutherland now the leading scorer for the CHCA Eagles. He has 5 of their 15.
I love how CHCA is really going back and forth between a 2-3 and a 3-2 and really just confusing Clark and their offense, and they're not able to get anything going, Glenn.
Yeah, Clark just cannot seem to find an offensive rhythm at all. The shots they're getting are pull-up jumpers. They really haven't found mismatches to take advantage of yet.
Great trap.
Great trap. Fantastic trap. Sorry to talk over the top of you there by CHCA, and they turned the Cougars over.
Cole Fisher and Jack Kolar are doing a great job of forcing that bad pass and getting the steal as CHCA takes the ball back over.
Now it's the Cougars' turn to try to frustrate the Eagles in their offensive half court. There you can see what I'm talking about. The bench option somewhat limited for Clark right now. Let's go back and take a look at that trap that occurred here in front of our broadcast position on the last offensive possession
So
for
Kolar
Clark.
and Fisher just collapse great. Kolar gets a hand on it and gets the steal for the CHCA Eagles.
He was able to inbound it underneath their own basket, driving to the hoop and getting a bump off the glass. Cole Fisher, 6 points in the game now for him, 17-8. The lead widens for the Eagles as we approach the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Yeah, Clark just really struggling for answers, David. They can pass it on the perimeter all they want, but the opportunities to shoot the ball are just not materialized with this tough Eagles defense so far.
Clark needs to do a better job of ball fakes, getting guys out of position and then taking advantage of those windows when they open after a ball fake. But again, just a lot of dribbling, passing. You need ball fakes, but Glenn, no shot clock, so Clark has nothing to worry about, but the CHCA faithful come alive as they play some great defense.
Yeah, they're applauding that defensive effort. There was a long three for Marlon Lyons, and that falls through and narrow the gap down to 6. Now the defensive intensity is going to be turned up by the Cougars. You get a whistle on the floor. Stop play.
We go on Cole Fisher, but Fisher does a great job of fouling and not letting a quick fast break happen for Clark. It's his first, team second of the game.
So it'll be Clark ball at midcourt on the near side of the court on your monitor, far away from the bench. Inbounded without any resistance by the Eagles. Pull up in the paint, no good. Rebounded easily underneath by Fisher. Eagles take back control. Under 4 minutes now. Drive to the basket and a push off, tries to get it up off the glass, but it won't go for Kolar. Officials content to let them play somewhat, David.
Yes, we're going to see Fisher kicks it off to Kolar. Kolar's going to go baseline. A lot of contact there. It could have gone either as an offensive or defensive foul, but no call. As number 20 of CHCA, Austin Arthurs lays it in for 2. 19-11 CHCA, 3:38 remaining. 3:38 remaining, pardon me.
Widening out the zone, very wide zone. A great shot of it there by our camera operator up top. Really trying to take the defense right to Clark, not give them a whole lot of room in which to work. Pull up by Ely for 3's no good, but the follow by Moore is. That's his first points of the game, 19-13 as we approach 3 minutes remaining in the half.
Then with the CHCA faithful sitting to our right, every time that Moore has touched the ball, he's gotten booed. I guess he must have had a big impact in those 2 regular season matchups against the Eagles.
Authors drove to the basket, could not get the roll, rebounded by Clark. Here they come down. Again, passing around the perimeter, a whole lot not happening inside. Good defense as Hawkins finds himself trapped. He's able to kick it out. Somehow, they'll try to reset. Pull up from the right side will not go. Rebounded underneath by Authors. Clark thought about doing some full court press. They'll back out of it into a half court defense. And a whistle.
Timeout, CHCA, 30 seconds.
CHCA will take their first timeout of the game. It'll be a 30-second timeout. What do you think's happening over in that Eagles huddle right now?
I think Coach Lawand really is just talking about how they're able to get past Clark's defense and continue to do it. You know, work the ball inside, and then when Clark collapses, get the ball out for an open 3 or go through the contact. And Coach Lawand has really done a great job of keeping his Eagles out to a 6-point lead. And I think the Eagles have a bad taste in their mouth, losing twice in the regular season. The first game losing by 2, but then that second game losing by 9. So CHCA knows what Clark's going to do, and they've done a really great job of playing better than what they did the first two matchups, Glenn.
Familiarity, as we've discussed a couple of times between these two teams. Close game the first time, a little bit of a wider margin the second, and now it's been all Eagles so far in this game. They've really dictated the tempo at both ends of the floor.
No foul.
Yeah, no fouls. They were trying to find Fisher inside. He ends up on his side. Clark brings it back down to their offensive half court quickly. Three-pointer on the way. Will not go. Rebounded easily by the Eagles. So a little bit of something we saw early in our last game. A lot of three-pointers getting hoisted up, but not a lot of crashing of the boards. Follow those shots.
Fisher going to try and post up again.
CHCA really struggling these last couple offensive possessions to find something that'll work as Clark has widened up their defense, taking a little more to the Eagles.
Fisher needs to be careful.
Yep, Lions reaching in there. Take a look here at this, what we thought could have been a foul previously, but went uncalled. You're gonna see Fisher get mauled down underneath. There you see him getting held and pushed to the ground by Ely. So we've seen that an area of enforcement in the collegiate game, but it goes uncalled here in this high school tournament game. Excuse me. Just about 70 seconds or so left. Fisher fakes the three. He's going to drive inside, up against the pressure. It will not go.
Quick jump ball.
Yeah, very quick jump ball called underneath before the players went out of bounds. The arrow is in favor of Clark for the moment.
That could be really good for CHCA. If there is not another jump ball, CHCA will start with the ball to start the second half, and I think that's exactly what Coach Lawan wants. So his defense really needs to step up, get a bucket, go into halftime with a lead, and come back out and start with the ball, Glenn.
Under a minute to go now. As you see on your screen, Hawkins dribbled into some trouble, but able to get out of it. Coach Vickers very animated on the sideline, just jumped up and down at a missed opportunity he saw for his offense. There's a feed inside, a drive to the basket. It will not go for Hawkins, rebounded underneath. Ball in the hands of Fisher. He'll be guarded closely, coming down by Moore. So we're under 30 seconds to go now in the half. CHCA trying to play keep away for the last shot, hang on to this 6-point lead and perhaps add to it. Not give Clark anything easy on the other end. They're going to guard the Eagles quickly. It's back and forth between Fisher and Authors. Up top, we're under 10 seconds now. Offense is going to have to go to eventually. Now we're 5. Authors is going to go inside. Kick out for a wide open three. It's off the mark, in and out, rebounded underneath by McLean. So your score at the end of the second quarter, the CHCA Eagles 19, the Clark Cougars 13, a 9-5 scoring edge in the second quarter for the Eagles. I thought we were going to try to get both teams back out on the floor again, but that is not the case. They will head to the locker rooms. We'll step away for a break and be back with the second half. You're watching High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports.
There's no better feeling than to be a part of a fire department. This is a family.
Police officer, it's a great job. It really is. You never know what you're going to get. You never know who you're going to help.
We're forgetting what's going on outside. We're focusing on what's going on in here, and we're all family.
This idea of a family academy, connecting families to talk about relevant issues.
Unbelievable. Milford has stormed all the way back in this football game.
The Warriors in the state finals! State finals! Ohio Wesleyan, here we go!
And it's up to every one of you all to keep this going and carry the torch. I hope you will do that. Thank you.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Cougars 19-13. Give you a quick scoring recap. First for the Eagles, Cole Fisher with 6, Austin Authors with 6, Ian Salkill with 2, and Billy Sutherland with 5. For the Cougars, Sean Ely with 4, Brazil Moore with 2, Marlon Lyons with 7. David, your thoughts on the first half?
I think CHCA played really well for having a low-scoring affair, and I think their defense was really tough, and Clark just didn't have an answer to it. So we'll see if Coach Vickers made that adjustment, but CHCA's offenses, they're just hot. Cole Fisher needs to get hot. I mean, he's averaging 18 points a game, and CHCA only has 19. So we'll see if we have a different second half, Glenn.
Really no foul trouble for either team. Sean Ely has 2. Other than that, no one with multiple fouls. We're back underway here, as you see. CHCA really upping the tempo here so far. The opening moments of the second half. Fisher forces the issue and 1.
Exactly what CHCA needed to start the second half, Glenn.
So Brazil Moore picks up foul number 2. You're going to take a look at it on replay here. Now this is the action that
Great
just
cut
occurred
by
here.
Fisher. Missed the free throw.
Can't get the free throw, so unable to complete the three-point play. 21-13, 7:30 in the third quarter, and the clock continues to roll. Clark taking a much more deliberate approach to offense than the Eagles did on their last trip down the floor as they tried to up the tempo. Three-pointer from the right side sails through the nylon for Sean Ely.
For Coach Vickers.
So that'll be the second timeout of the game taken by Coach Vickers. He'll have 3 remaining to get him through the second half. So obviously wanting to make an adjustment just 43 seconds in to the third quarter.
Let's see. Open 3 in the corner. Nothing but nylon.
First horn, team still in the huddles. We commented before we came on the air, the Eagles were late to come out of the locker room. Clark came out with, I don't know, about 3 minutes or so remaining to do a little bit of a shoot around. The Eagles never really had that opportunity as they came out, as we were under the 1 minute mark. 21-16, the Eagles out in front. Clock frozen at 7:17 after the timeout by the Cougars. Eagles possession. Came down the floor very quickly last time, attempting to this time, but playing guardedly through the Clark defense. Possession arrow rest with the Cougars. Nice little dish off, drive into the paint. They'll kick it back up top. Fisher into the paint, pulls it down up and off the glass. Well, you knew coming into this game, Cole Fisher was kind of the engine, but he's showing you why right there.
Yeah, second half resurgence for Cole. So he's done most of the scoring for the Eagles so far, but great take through the contact without the foul call, Glenn.
See what adjustments Cougars made offensively as Coach Vickers took that timeout. They seem to be favoring the right side offensively. That left corner is wide open. Not a whole lot happening under the paint, really. A lot of standing around, not a lot of motion. See Lyons trying to push off a little bit there and get some space. Not really all that effective. Flash into the paint. That's going to be a travel.
Good jump.
Oh, they're going to call a jump. So Hawkins went up to try to take the shot. It was partially blocked. Came back down on his feet. Yep. Take us through this, David.
And so Hawkins is trying to find something. There it is. And then he goes to jump. But Fisher, they both came down on the ball, resulting to a quick jump. I know this crew usually do have a quick jump, but as a CHCA, we'll get the ball back on alternating possessions and the rebound from Cole Fisher.
Yeah, this gentleman on these crews seen quite a lot, especially at the D1 level this year, so very well experienced, obviously, to get a district semifinal assignment. And called a pretty good game so far. Nothing really of note to be concerned about, other than the one no call, perhaps, we saw earlier in the first half. Boy, that's just a very, very sloppy offensive possession for the Cougars. So we're going to get a foul called the other end on Jack Sunni. That'll be his first. So one team foul apiece so far. in the second half for these teams. About 2.5 minutes in.
CHCA in that 2-3 to 3-2, and there's a bucket for Hawkins.
His first points of the game. Lead back down to 5 for the Eagles. Clark dialing up the defensive intensity now. Going to guard the Eagles closely as they try to come down.
We got numbers.
Yeah, Eagles able to make through it so far. Thought about a baseline drive. They'll kick it back up top to Fisher. Work the ball around. Good matchup underneath. Thought about a spin move. Thought better of it. There you see very quick ball movement. Drive into the paint. Cannot get the roll, and from behind.
There'll be a foul on Jack Kolar, the 6'2 senior, his first. You're going to see a great ball movement. Kolar misses a lay-in and then just goes over the back and gets the foul. Billy Sutherland back in for the Eagles.
Yeah, Sunny checks out. Clark ball, they trail by 5 after the foul. Eagles in that 2-3 defense. David talked about the switch back and forth between a 2-3 and a 3-2. Leaves you a little vulnerable on the perimeter unless you widen it up. They've done a good job of coming out to challenge. And it looks to be an opportunity for a shot by the Cougars. Approaching the halfway mark of the third quarter. 3, no good, will not fall for Ely. It's right into the hands of Salkill. Come the Eagles. Slowing it down a little bit. Now they're going to try to turn it up a touch. So Miles Faison is going to pick up his first foul of the game. So after a relatively clean first half, the fouls have been quick to come out here in the second. Coach Lahan having a conversation with Tom Burns down in the corner. We talked about in the previous game, kind of worked those officials a little bit, give them some things to keep an eye on. Strong effort to the basket by Authors. Could not get it to fall. Cougars back down quickly to their offensive half court. Jumper from the left side, and that's going to be a 3-pointer for Hawkins.
That's big for Hawkins and Clark, as now CHCA lead was cut to just 2.
Yeah, and Clark again continues to pressure the Eagles full court in transition. The Eagles have done a decent enough job of working through it, but boy, the teeth have really come out on this Clark defense here in the second half. Coach Vickers has to be careful. He was dang near at midcourt that time in the official's ear.
Yeah, that coach's box only goes so far, and you can't, those refs are going to be picky about it, especially at tournament time.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot, but you get out of that box too much, they're going to put you back in your place, so to speak, right?
And there goes Fisher.
Oh, he got stripped underneath, lost control by Hawkins. Hawkins just got enough of a touch on it to have Fisher lose control. Coach Lahan very animated and unhappy over on the sideline after that offensive sequence by his Eagles.
CHCA needs a stop here to stop the momentum from the Cougars, but they've came clawing back to just make it a 2-point lead, 2-point deficit.
Clark keeps chipping away, a couple points, and all of a sudden it's a 1-possession game. Oh, look at that. Nice move, but good defense underneath by Kolar.
Kolar doing a great job just getting his hand in there, not going for a swat, keeping it straight up, and getting the deflection.
Nice save, but careless into the hands of the Cougars. So CHCA able to hang on to the ball. Or take possession back, excuse me. We'll try to slow things down in the face of this growling defense by the Cougars. Not able to find many openings. There's one. Yeah.
The foul.
Jack Kolar. The bucket and the foul. A diving effort.
I believe that might have been Arthur's one.
Yep, sorry. Happened unfolded quick in front of me and I had the numbers wrong, but yeah, indeed it was Authors. So now he'll move up to 8 points in the game and go to the free throw line with an opportunity to make it 9.
Foul was on Lyons. Just was out of position as Jack Sonny checks in for the Eagles.
Free throw on the way. Gets the roll off the backside. So now 9 points for Austin. 26-21. Lead back up to 5 for the Eagles. Oh, yeah, just taking it right out of the hands. Faison was tripped up. And right there to take it was Kolar. Just took it right out of his hands from behind him.
Like taking candy from a baby.
Nice spin move. Shot goes up. Will not fall.
Great rebound by Fisher. Fisher just not giving up on the play. Saves it.
Yeah, good save, but right back into the hands of the Cougars. Hawkins is off to the races. He dishes it off. All kinds of contact underneath. Wow, what a sequence there. He leaned it up with the ball and went to the basket and got swatted to the floor. Take a look at it on replay.
Great ball movement. Kolar and Sonny go up for it. Sonny just gets a little too much arm. Sends number 1, Sean Ely, to the line.
Sonny's second foul of the game. Shot does not go. Substitution. Terrence McLean's going to come back into the game. Take the place of Marlon Lyons. Second shot on the way for Ely. That one circles and falls through. Give him 8 in the game. The lead's back up, or down to 4, for the Eagles. 1:55 remaining in the third quarter. Eagles doing a nice job of fighting through the pressure. Get it across the timeline. Now they'll set the offense. Fisher dribbling, waiting for something to materialize around him. Clark making things a little bit difficult. They're trying to feed that one inside to Sonny, and it goes down the other way for the Cougars.
Ely gets an easy lay-in. Back to just a 2-point deficit, Glenn.
And a foul. So Faison picks up his second. That's the team's 4th. Clark's ratcheted up the intensity a little bit. A little more physicality, a few more fouls. Team fouls 4 and 3 respectively for Clark and the Eagles. 2-point lead for CHCA. Approaching 70 seconds to go in the third quarter. There's the steal. Going down the other way is Faison. Oh, and he's mauled from behind.
Intentional.
Oh. Fisher tried to look at the official and say, I wasn't trying to throw him to the ground, but he'll get hit with the intentional nonetheless. You can judge for yourself on the replay that Josh is dialing up for us.
Fisher just comes.
And it's all coming after this. It happened away from the ball, right?
It was on the ball, Glenn.
So Faison will go to the free throw line. Oh, off the back iron, it will not fall through. Now this was the sequence we're looking for, is keep you posted on what Faison does from the free throw line. Get that dialed up the next dead ball perhaps for it. Faison's first point of the game from the second free throw after the intentional foul. (26-25), the deficit's down to 1. Clark maintains possession after the intentional foul. Go inbound underneath their own basket. They're able to do so successfully, but a travel is going to be called on McLean as he caught the pass and made his way to the basket.
Just took a step too early there, Glenn. Didn't have the ball yet. Gets the travel and the turnover. CHCA will take over with a 1-point lead. 1:05 remaining here in the third quarter.
Boy, just really an opportunity there that time for Clark to tie this game or perhaps take the lead, and mental mistake cost them by McLean on that travel. Boy, the Eagles wanted a foul. It's a turnover. Clark down to the other end. Brazil Moore. Give him 4 points in the game. Clark takes the lead 27-26 with just over 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Oh, there's another steal. Moore dishes it off. Clark will set up their offense, however, try to whittle away the last 30 seconds of the third quarter. What a turn of events here in the third quarter. No shot clock, as we've talked about, so Clark will dribble it away till about 10 seconds or so to go. Now we're under 10 seconds. Moore still dribbling away. It looks like they're going to wait till 5 to set something. That's indeed what they do. Moore passes it off. Three-pointer for Ely. And boy, was that worth the wait. 13 points for Ely in the game as Clark lengthens their lead to 4. It's 30-26. We're going to step away or bring up our replay schedule for you and then reset everything that happened in that game. Let's take two different looks at that last three-pointer.
Moore looks for, just waits for it, and Ely cash from 3 or 4 feet behind the line, and here's a different look at it. In the bottom right corner, here comes Ely out, wide open, got it.
Wow, didn't even hit the rim, it didn't look like. So a 17-7 scoring advantage in the third quarter for the Clark Cougars over the CHCA Eagles. There's our ICRC-TV replay schedule for our Spectrum and Optics customers. Of course, you can find this game and all of the other content archived at our website, www.icrctv.com, icrctv.com. Sports, music, government, school events, you name it, we got it. icrctv.com. 4 team fouls each with 8 minutes remaining. CHCA has 4 timeouts remaining. Clark has 3. The possession arrow is in favor of the Eagles for the moment, but that will change as we get things underway here to start the game. A couple of players, 3 starters for the Cougars with 2 fouls, Ely, Moore, and Faison. Really not a lot of foul trouble for the Eagles. Sonny has 2, that's about it. So we're back underway. The winner is going to go on to face the winner of the Preble-Shawnee Anna game. Anna, the #1 seed in the Southwest region. Turnover, here come the Cougars down to the other end. Pull-up jumper from 15 feet. Count it for Ely.
Ely did a great job of getting that steal there and then just taking his team, pulling up from about 12 feet. And all momentum has gone back to the Cougars and coach Wally Vickers, Glenn.
I'll tell you, when they went to that full court defense, putting pressure on CHCA, it's really frustrated them, forcing them into turnovers. And the shot selection's not been great. Here's a one-on-one opportunity and easily converted for Authors. Now 11 points unofficially in the game.
Here goes Ely again, but Ely just trying to do way too much.
Yeah.
Here comes Authors.
Force that one in 3 or 4 players. That's not going to work. Wide open 3-ball off the mark. Rebounded underneath by Sawkill. Eagles maintain possession. Fisher for a 3, no good. It's rebounded underneath by Moore. They push the ball down quickly. Driving to the basket, Deshaunte Hawkins.
Fading away from the basket too as he was falling down. Easy to get the bucket. Cougars lead 34-28.
Yep, they continue to add to that lead. All wide open underneath. Nice pass behind him. Intended for Fisher, or excuse me, for Sonny, who just can't hang on to it. And now we're going to get a foul underneath on Ely. That'll be number 3 on him. He's not terribly happy with that, nor is Coach Vickers.
It looked like Sawkill went for a push on the guy that fouled him. And you can see right on your screen, Coach Vickers is very animate and pleading his case to the officials.
So that's going to send Sawkill to the free throw line. Good shot at him by Cam up top. In and out, will not fall through the hole. Now he's got to regain his mental focus. Substitution on the way back into the game. Faison take the place of McLean. McLean, of course, had that last drive to the basket at the other end. Faison, of course, out of the game. Sawkill with 3 points.
Out of bounds, last touch by CHCA. 3 guys collapsed down on Hawkins.
5-point lead, 6:12 remaining in regulation. Momentum squarely on the side of the Cougars at this point. Cougars going to play a little bit of keep away now, be a little more deliberate on this offensive possession. And a jump ball as Faison tried to step through and split the defenders. Arrow is with the Cougars. Little switch after the inbounds. They see the play being called out, the inbounds play. They're going to set it way back up top. Now a drive in on the baseline, thinks better of it, kicks it back up top to Moore. Moore and Ely back and forth. Now they're going to go over to the right side to Faison. Faison down to the corner. Now back to Faison. 3-2 look for the Eagles. That's Ely. Faison. Faison thought about trying to drive by. Still has his dribble, passes it down to Ely. Ely backs out, wide open from just outside at 15 feet. And the shot falls through for Hawkins. Took forever to roll through the hole. Salkill will come down to handle the inbounding duties for the Eagles, having a little bit of trouble getting it in. They're going to have to be aware of that count. They get it across the timeline now.
There's Fisher to the hole.
Yeah, Fisher comes in from behind, and that's going to be a foul underneath on Faison. Oh, no, actually, offensive on Fisher.
Be his third.
Yeah, correction, sorry. That'll be number 3 on him. So now the first foul trouble of the game occurs here late in the fourth quarter. We'll get a look at it on replay. It's live action. The Cougars are slow to come down. Yeah, defender had his feet set. Good call.
Baseline drive.
I'm surprised Lyons couldn't get his way through that. Cougars will reset. Boy, they're quick at passing that ball around. I know we said good ball movement a lot, but just quick, crisp passes when the Cougars want to. Now a little more slow and deliberate, trying to find something that'll open up. Hawkins thought about trying to drive into the paint, elected against it. Reset the perimeter offense. Yeah, they're content to try to play keep away now. We're almost halfway through the fourth quarter. Cougars have a 7-point lead. Sooner or later, the Eagles are going to have to be more aggressive going for the basketball. Nice drive around.
Block.
Yeah, Authors didn't have his feet completely set underneath. That's his first foul of the game.
You see, very, very patient from Clark. Authors was moving. Good call. That'll send Ely to the line for 2.
16 fouls now for the Eagles, 5 for the Cougars. So we're getting close to that bonus situation as you'd expect late in the game. First free throw on the way, falls through for Ely. Substitution back into the game. Terrence McLean take the place of Lyons. Got to give the Cougars credit with a short bench. They've made it work tonight. Quick substitutions depending on the situation. Some timely breaks. Second free throw on the way. Again, effortless. 17 points in the game now for Ely. It's a great thing about tournament basketball. Find out which teams have the most heart in a lot of situations, and Clark showing a ton of it, being shorthanded on the bench. Really a good effort by both teams. So with stoppage in play on the floor.
Referee heard him say timeout.
I think it might have been coming from the stands calling for a timeout, and that's what the referee heard. But so we'll resume with a side out for the Eagles. Maintain possession, under 4 minutes to go now. Very nearly steal there by Ely. Easy for me to say.
Right. CHCA just got to be really strong with the ball here, Glenn. Make smart passes, ball fakes. Get the Cougars to bite on the first fake and be able to capitalize once that window opens. And one.
Yep, indeed. Good call, David. Faison picks up his third foul. Nice replay here. There's the drive to the basket and ultimately the roll for Authors. He's got 13 in the game now. Couple of substitutions for both teams.
Leon Bowe in for CHCA and number 11, Jack Sani.
Authors trying to make it 14, chip away at this deficit. Eagles have found themselves in. Nice job bending the knees. A lot of times late in the game, the players forget about that.
Yeah.
6 points now. The lead the Eagles are trying to overcome. They get a turnover. Thanks to Austin Authors. Nice little ball fake.
Timeout CHCA. So they cut the lead to 4.
Sure, Josh will give us a look at that on replay, but just a nice little move here after the turnover.
Kolar dishes it.
Sani.
Way to finish as number 3, Miles Faison goes over Sani. No foul called. CHCA cuts the deficit to 4.
Both teams with 3 timeouts left, 16 fouls apiece, 3:31 showing on the game clock. Possession arrow is in favor of CHCA. Ely, Faison have 3 fouls for the Cougars. Fisher has 3 fouls for the Eagles. Those of you who'd like to help us with our productions, we do need you, whether it's sitting here courtside doing play-by-play, running a camera, learning the production truck, or perhaps creating a studio production. We're interested in bringing you on board as an ICRC-TV volunteer. Reach out to Jason at ICRC-TV.com, Jason at ICRC-TV.com. You can reach out via all the various social media channels as well. As I said a moment ago, 3:31 to decide it. The winner is going to advance to the district finals. To the winner of the Preble Shawnee Anna game. Chalk says Anna, they're the number 1 seed. We'll find out if that holds true a little later on today. Always exciting to make that trip to UD Arena, not only for the teams, but for us as broadcasters as well. Looking forward to next weekend, bringing you a slew of games up at UD Arena, courtesy of ICRC-TV.com and our communities that do such a great job of supporting us. Please be sure to visit our social pages to discuss a little bit of the ongoing controversy regarding funding for organizations like ours. Whistle on the floor.
Fouls on Leon Bowe. His first, team 7th. That sends Ely to the line for 1-1. Checking into the game for the Eagles, number 30, Ian Salkill.
McLean comes back in for the Cougars. So Ely at the free throw line, 2:55 remaining. The lead is down to 4 for the Cougars. First shot on the way, nails it. 18 points now for Ely. I think it's going to be a pretty easy vote who wins our MVP/star of the game.
Absolutely.
Brought to you by Josh Simstrot and ICRC-TV.com. Second shot, money, 19 points. Leads back up to 6 thanks to the free throws. The Eagles are going to have to keep the ball away from Ely somehow if that's possible. Single-handedly doing a number on them. Junior guard, 5'10", came in averaging just under 13, 2.5 boards and a couple of assists. Turnover by the Eagles. Cougars back down quickly to their offensive half court. Coming out and attacking a little more now are the Eagles. We're not just going to lay back inside the 3-point line. And that defense, nice job there by Fisher to get a hand on it. The Cougars able to hang on to the ball though. Drive by McLean, or by Hawkins, excuse me. He's got 11 now. He came in averaging just under 12, so he's right at his scoring average. Oh, very easily could have been a turnover there. We're going to say it was last off of Kolar, so it will stay with the Cougars. Substitution. Leon Bowe's going to check back into the game. Here comes a substitution for the Cougars. Chess match will continue. Back in as Lions, out goes McLean. 2:03 remaining, an 8-point lead for the Cougars trying to advance to UD Arena. Coach Lahan's going to take his third timeout of the game. It'll be a 30-second timeout, David. What are the Eagles going to have to do to chip away at this 8-point deficit besides score a bunch of points?
You need to stop Ely. He's the heart and soul for that Cougars team, Glenn. But when Ely's not scoring, you're going to Hawkins or McLean. So their defense really needs to step up, and they need to be much smarter with the ball on offense. Obviously, Cole Fisher is going to be looking for the ball, but you got to be able to draw fouls and get to the rim. But it starts on defense. We saw this last game in the Georgetown-Reading game. It all starts on defense. Defense, if you get stops, you got to be able to transition and get buckets, whether it's a 3 or you get an and 1 or a 2. You need to make stops first because you can't just keep letting them score when you're down 8.
Yeah, the difference in the game has been when Clark started ratcheting up the defensive pressure, started giving CHCA fits. We'll see how things unfold here in the final 2:03 of regulation. After the timeout taken by CHCA, drive to the hoop and then a dish, struggle for control underneath, and going to get a double dribble called on Lyons. Now, again, the chess match continues with the substitutions depending on offense or defense. So back into the game, it's Billy Sutherland and Sawkill for CHCA. Under 2 minutes, 1:53 and counting. Clock starting to become an issue with this 8-point deficit. CHCA definitely needs points on this possession. They try to force the issue. Not a whole lot there. Now they're very nearly in a trap. They're going to kick it back out to Authors, who's going to come inside and get the easy lay-in. 16 points in the game now for Austin Authors. The senior guard came in averaging just under 11. Full timeout taken on the floor. And that's taken by CHCA. Coach Lahan with 1 to get him through the final minute, 34 seconds of regulation.
Great ball movement there by CHCA on that last possession and able to finish, but the stops need to continue. You can't let Ely or Curtis or Hawkins or McLean get the ball because they're going to score. So the defense really needs to lock down. You got a minute 34 left. You're down 6. No need to start to panic yet. Yeah, every time you foul, they're going to be shooting free throws. So if you're going to foul someone that's not a good free throw shooter and get them to miss, get a couple rebounds, got to get some stops, and then you got to come down and get some buckets. You don't need to hit 2 threes. Yes, 3s will get momentum back on your side, but keep going to the paint and attacking because that's what is getting CHCA back in this game, Glenn.
Well, it shall be interesting. Just 1 timeout left, as I said, for the Eagles now. 3 for the Cougars. 17 fouls for the Eagles, 6 for the Cougars. Possession arrow in favor of the Eagles. 1:34 remaining. 3 fouls for Cole Fisher for CHCA, 3 for Ely, 3 for Faison. For Clark, should be what you need to know to get through the final 94 seconds of regulation. Cougars are able to inbound down quickly. Is Ely and gets the N1.
Got to take a charge or something there, Glenn. Can't let him get an easy layup. I'd rather him get intentionally fouled in the 2 and then make him earn the 2 points. As you're going to see Ely just get the ball right above the perimeter and finish strong. Foul there on Authors. Authors just let Kolar take that charge there, Glenn.
21 points for Ely and counting. He has been a machine in the second half. Substitution, Ben Sutherland, you saw, comes into the game for the Eagles. They need some scoring. Sutherland averages just under 7 a game. Ben Sutherland, that is. Ely now with 22. 9 points, the lead going the wrong way if you're rooting for CHCA. Eagles have to find a way to chip away at it in these last 80 seconds.
That's not going to do it.
Turnover's not going to help as Faison finally tracks the ball down, and we're going to get a foul on Authors. That'll be his 3rd. Nine now, so 1 more. Clark will be shooting 2 the rest of the way, so Faison will go to the free throw line. He's got 1 free throw in the game so far, his only point. Boy, eerily quiet all of a sudden. Now the Eagle faithful will wake up. Yeah, you could hear a pin drop here
Yeah.
for a couple seconds. So just a tremendous second half here by the Cougars, as we've talked about. After CHCA controlled the first part of this game, the Cougars are stormed back, take control. As we mentioned a couple times, they won both regular season matchups and now firmly in control of this and with an 11-point lead, 70 seconds to go. Ball is deflected away. Last touch by the Eagles. It'll be Clark ball. That's not going to help. Well, we thought it would be a good game. It's really been a tale of two halves. First half by the Eagles, the second half by the Cougars. A lot of familiarity as we've discussed. Oh, hack from behind by number 12, Billy Sutherland. That's going to send Marlon Lyons to the free throw line. Lyons with 7 points in the game thus far. 64 seconds remaining. It's starting to become all but elementary for Clark Montessori. Again, situational substitutions. Ben Sutherland checks back into the game. 12 points is the lead for Clark. It's going to take a miracle for the Eagles at this point. They have to play it one possession at a time. Second shot's no good. Nice rebound in the paint. Here comes CHCA down quickly. Fisher brings it down, kicks it back for a long three-pointer by Kolar. It's no good. Fisher comes up with the ball, but it's off his hands and out of bounds. Cougars will have possession for the final 53 seconds or so here if they play their cards right, depending on how aggressively CHCA chooses to guard. Lazon was trying to get it down the court a little farther. Official pulls him back a few feet. They inbound easily. Ely dishes it off. Wide open three from the corner. Will not go. Swatted out of bounds by Billy Sutherland. Substitution. Leon Bowe's going to come back in for the Eagles. 48-36, just under 46 seconds remaining in the contest. Hard to imagine an overtime scenario. Clark's going to force the Eagles to foul. Turnover. Come the Eagles. Pull-up jumper. Nice shot that time by Jack Kolar.
Be a full timeout. Last timeout for the Eagles. It was a three-point shot, yeah. There is Kolar coming off the steal and the save. Bo gets it back to him and he just 1-2 pull-up. Cash.
Wow. Another one that barely touched the rim, straight through. 31 seconds remaining. Eagles staring at a 9-point deficit. It'll be a very steep hill to climb. Not impossible, but very steep nonetheless. See Coach Vickers, his Cougars huddled up. Possession arrow is with the Eagles. Clark will be shooting two the rest of the way now as the Eagles have achieved 10 team fouls. Just 6. It seems like Clark's been stuck at 6 for quite a while.
Yeah.
The Eagles have not been able to force them into a foul to get to the one-on-one situation.
Let's see how the CHCA defense is able, we'll see what they're able to do against this Clark press break. CHCA needs a steal and score here real quick, Glenn.
Yeah, say the very least. Say you're right. Being guarded closely. And there's a quick foul. We'll see who they get for it. I think it might be on Bo. We'll see. Yep, that'll be number 2 for him. So that'll send the Cougars back to the free throw line. Waiting to check back in is Ben Sutherland at a dead ball. Free throw line, Brazil Moore. He's got 4 points in the game so far. First free throw is good. There's the substitution we told you was coming. Comes a Clark substitution now, going to bring Terrence McLean back into the game for Lions. 30.1 seconds showing on the game clock. 10-point lead. And it'll hold at that. Rebounded easily by Kolar. Eagles down.
Step
Pull
back.
up three. Yep. Well off the mark. Tipped back in by Fisher, but it's into the hands of the Cougars and a foul.
Foul's going to go on Kolar. His second.
So familiar refrain here. Cougars are going to go to the free throw line. Not just the Cougars, but Ely, who has had himself one whale of a game, to say the very least. He's got 22 points unofficially by my count. And the majority of those coming in the second half. Couple of substitutions on the way. That's Sonny Salkill checking back into the game for the Eagles. And we'll start to see some of the seniors come out now. For CHCA, the Austin Authors making his way down the line along with Jack Kolar through the coaching staff and teammates. Substitutions now by Clark. Got three players coming in. Steph Curry, number 12, Javen Curtis, and I believe that was Kevon Lattimore, is going to get into the scorebook as well.
Steph Curry, Glenn.
Yeah, right.
I didn't
Double
know.
take when I was prepping this morning, putting my roster together.
I didn't know Golden State was here.
Three-pointer from the left side. Great shot for Sutherland. Under 2 seconds now. The Cougars will dribble it out. And that's your final score. It is the Clark Cougars 51, the CHCA Eagles 42. The Eagles will end their season at 15-5, the number 2 seed. Season has ended. Their 12-4 mark in the MVC Scarlet will hold up. Clark Cougars will move to 17-9. They, of course, were 13-3 in the MVC Scarlet. David, your final thoughts on a very exciting game.
I think, as you mentioned, Glenn, it was just a tale of two halves. CHCA they played lights out in the first half, and Clark made great halftime adjustments and played a very, very good second half. And they're headed up to Dayton to play the winner of Anna and Preble Shawnee, which is the 13th seed, and Anna being the 1 seed, as you said, Glenn. So it was a very exciting 2 games we had to hear today, but I think UD Arena is going to be a lot of fun next Saturday for both teams.
Yeah, it sure will, and congratulations again to CHCA, especially their seniors. Fantastic season, nothing to hang their head about, just ran into a very good Clark team. So once again, CHCA 42. For David Olson, our producer, Josh Simstrad in the truck, and our crew, I'm Glenn Olson. You've been watching High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. So long, everyone.